As the FBI's Russia investigation draws closer to him, President Trump on Sunday unleashed an extraordinary assault on the nation's premier law enforcement agency, calling it a biased institution whose reputation for fairness was in tatters. In a series of early morning tweets, Mr. Trump said the FBI's standing was now the worst in history. The attack was one of the harshest in a generation on an independent agency that 2 days earlier had helped secure a guilty plea and a pledge of cooperation from the president's first national security advisor. Current and former FBI officials, historians and lawmakers rebuked the president over his efforts to undermine the FBI's credibility as it investigates whether his campaign colluded with Russian officials to sway the 2016 election. A president who has positioned himself as devoted to law and order is now in a public dispute with the country's top law enforcement agents. Thomas O'Connor, the president of the association representing FBI agents, defended their integrity in a statement. FBI agents are dedicated to their mission, he said, asserting that they demonstrated unwavering integrity and professionalism on the job. Suggesting otherwise is simply false, he added. On Friday, Michael T. Flynn, the former national security advisor, admitted that he had lied to the FBI about his conversations with the Russian ambassador during the presidential transition. As part of the Bureau's inquiry, the special counsel, Robert S. Mueller III, is believed to be examining whether Mr. Trump obstructed justice by firing James B. Comey, the FBI director, who was overseeing the inquiry. Mr. Comey has said Mr. Trump asked him to drop the investigation into Mr. Flynn. Continue reading the main story. The Trump White House, the historic moments, head-spinning developments and inside the White House intrigue. Jared Kushner calls Mideast peace achievable as Jerusalem debate simmers. Deck 3 wrenched from scandal to success. Trump looks ahead, and over his shoulder. Deck 2 Betsy DeVos allies see new obstacle to school choice efforts. Trump. Deck 2 Heroin in soups and lollipops, how drug cartels evade border security. Deck 2 Trump to keep embassy in Tel Aviv, but recognize Jerusalem as capital. Deck 1 See more. But on Sunday, the president condemned Mr. Comey as a liar, saying that I never asked Comey to stop investigating Flynn, and that Mr. Comey had harmed the Bureau and its employees. He also accused the Bureau's agents of spending years pursing a phony and dishonest investigation into the email server of his 2016 rival, Hillary Clinton. Mr. Trump's fury at those investigating him stunned even those with fresh memories of his repeated attempts over the past year to disparage intelligence agencies, the State Department and other parts of his government. Senator Dianne Feinstein of California, the top Democrat on the Judiciary Committee, said the frenzied nature of the president's tweets suggested that he knew that Mr. Mueller was building an obstruction of justice case against him. I see it in the hyper-frenetic attitude of the White House, the comments every day, the continual tweets, Ms. Feinstein said on NBC's Meet the Press on Sunday. Eric H. Holder Jr., who was President Barack Obama's first attorney general, responded to the president's tweets with one of his own defending the Bureau. You'll find integrity and honesty at FBI headquarters and not at 1600 Penn Avenue right now, Mr. Holder wrote. As he sought to discredit the Russia inquiry, which he has long called a political witch hunt, Mr. Trump on Sunday seized on reports that Mr. Mueller had removed a veteran FBI agent because he sent text messages that appeared to express views critical of Mr. Trump. In several tweets, the president harshly criticized the agent, Peter Strzok, who had previously helped lead the 2016 investigation into whether Mrs. Clinton had mishandled classified information on her private email account. Mr. Strzok is considered one of the Bureau's most experienced and trusted counterintelligence investigators. Report: Anti-Trump FBI agent led Clinton email probe, Mr. Trump said in his 10th tweet on Sunday, which by the early evening had been retweeted more than 24,000 times. Now it all starts to make sense. Most presidents enter the Oval Office with an instinct to defend and promote the integrity and capabilities of the nation's law enforcement agencies. Mr. Trump arrived with a different compulsion, fueled by a belief that intelligence and law enforcement officials were stoking questions about the legitimacy of his election victory. By suggesting, as he has before, that the FBI and other agencies are motivated by politics, Mr. Trump again embraced the kind of suspicions that feed conspiracy theories about a deep state operating with a secret bias against him.